Join me as I navigate the tricky waters of intimacy when my wife shuts it down, and I challenge myself to step back and stop helping her. Join me as I navigate the tricky waters of intimacy when my wife shuts it down, and I challenge myself to step back and stop helping her. When we look at intimacy within marriage, it's easy to assume that it's all about physical connection. But the truth is, intimacy is so much more than that. It's about sharing your thoughts, feelings, and desires with your partner, and being vulnerable enough to receive theirs in return. But what happens when that intimacy starts to break down? I'm going to share a personal story with you that's been really challenging for me. My wife, she shut down intimacy in our relationship, and it was like a punch to the gut. I felt like I was being rejected, like I wasn't good enough for her. It was hard for me to understand why she didn't want to connect with me on that level, and to be honest, it made me start to shut down too, but in a different way. I stopped wanting to help her emotionally because I felt like I was no longer getting anything in return. I remember feeling so frustrated, like I was walking on eggshells around her, never knowing when she would shut down on me again. It was like she was pulling away, and I was left feeling confused and helpless. I would try to talk to her about it, but she would just brush it off, saying she was stressed or tired, and I would be left feeling like I was the only one who cared about our relationship. As time went on, I realized that I was enabling her behavior by constantly trying to fix everything for her. I was taking on the emotional labor of the relationship, and it was exhausting me. I felt like I was losing myself in the process, and I knew I had to draw a boundary. I told her that I couldn't keep being her emotional crutch, that she needed to start taking responsibility for her own emotions. It was a hard conversation to have, but it was necessary. One of the biggest underlying reasons for the intimacy shutdown was the fact that my wife was carrying around a lot of emotional baggage from her past. She had unresolved trauma that was still affecting her today, and it was making it hard for her to open up and be vulnerable with me. I couldn't understand why she wouldn't talk to me about it, why she wouldn't let me in. But the truth is, she didn't know how to process her emotions, and I didn't know how to help her. As I looked at our situation, I realized that my wife wasn't rejecting me. She was rejecting her own emotions. She was scared to confront the pain of her past, and I was scared to lose her. We were both stuck in our own ways, and it was taking a toll on our relationship. I had to take a step back and understand that her shutting down wasn't about me. It was about her own fears and insecurities. There was a moment when everything came to a head. We had a huge fight, and I finally told her that I couldn't keep going on like this. I told her that I needed her to meet me halfway, to be willing to work on her emotions and communicate with me. It was a turning point in our relationship because it forced us to confront the underlying issues that were holding us back. Looking back, I realized that our intimacy challenge was a blessing in disguise. It forced us to communicate, to confront the underlying issues that were holding us back. It taught me that intimacy isn't just about physical connection, it's about emotional connection, vulnerability, and trust. And it taught me that sometimes you have to take a step back and let your partner go through their own journey, even if it's hard. So, what can we take away from this experience? Intimacy is a two-way street, and it requires effort and communication from both partners. If you're going through something similar, I encourage you to share your story in the comments below. And if you want to learn more about relationship dynamics and how to overcome intimacy challenges, be sure to check out my next video. Thanks for watching.